Hi, hello everyone. So today we are going to have a discussion whether hospitals were liable to GST. As of now, we have completed three different services. Like we have completed three different services like charitable activities, and number two, agricultural activities, and number three, education institutes. Now we are going to have a discussion on fourth type of service called healthcare services. Completely today our discussion is with the hospitals. Whether hospitals were liable to pay GST is the first question. So first now let us learn what are the incomes of hospitals. If you refer income and expenditure account of an hospital, what are the various incomes received by hospitals? Number one, inpatients income from inpatients. Number two, income from outpatients. So what is the difference between inpatients and outpatients? Inpatient means who are admitting in the hospital. So outpatients means without admission, they will just come for consultancy, take a prescription from the doctor, and they are going to take the medicines. So they are called as outpatients. These are the two incomes which have arisen to hospitals. So what are the other incomes? Number three, sale of medicines. They would sell medicines and earn certain profits. Every hospital will also have medical shop also. So in such medical shop, there will be sale of medicines. So inpatients, outpatients, sale of medicines. And what are the other incomes? Testing charges, scanning. So I am naming it as incidental income. If hospital itself has lab, they will have incidental income. Okay, and remaining all I am terming it as other incomes. What are those other incomes? In hospital, many might do advertisements also. In hospitals, they may stick on posters, they may impose certain banners like that. In hospital, they have certain other incomes like advertisement income. They will collect advertisement charges. Whoever can come to hospital and advertise their products by way of banners and cutouts, for that they need to pay advertisement charges to hospitals. Number B, hospital can also get rent. They can let out part of the hospital premises to a canteen, and they will receive rent from letting of immobile properties. Their building or land might be let out to canteens or medical shops, whoever may be, and here they are going to receive rent. These are the various incomes of hospitals, sir. Just for some examples I have written. This fifth one, they might have any other incomes which were chargeable. They have many other incomes also. Just for example, I have given you two services. So these are the incomes of hospital. Now today our objective is to decide whether hospitals were liable to pay GST. What are the incomes I have listed out here? Whether on these incomes hospitals were liable to pay GST or not. That's what now we are going to have a discussion. What they have specified in 12/2017 notification is healthcare services were exempt from GST. Healthcare services were exempt from GST. Okay, so inpatients, outpatients, for them what we are going to provide? We are going to provide healthcare services, and here doctors are going to charge consultation fee. This consultation fee, whether is it taxable or exempted? this consultation fee is exempted from GST. GST need not be paid on this consultation fee. So on consultation fee is exempted because it is nothing but healthcare services. So on consultation fee GST need not be paid. And number 2, sale of medicines. Healthcare service is exempted from GST, but sale of medicines is not exempted. Sale of medicines is a supply of a good. This is not service. Here we are going to sell the medicine. Medicine is a good. So sale of good is liable to GST. This is liable to GST. Only healthcare services were being exempted. And next, coming to testing charges, scanning charges, blood test fee. So like this, whereas incidental incomes comes to hospital, and these incidental incomes were also treated as part of healthcare service only. They were also treated as part of healthcare services only, and this is also exempted from GST. So on this item also we need not pay GST. This is also exempted. And last thing, certain other incomes of the hospital like advertisement, rental income. If hospital have any other incomes, so all those were liable to GST. All those were liable to GST. So only the thing we are going to encourage in case of healthcare hospitals is healthcare services is exempted. So those things where we have observed as of now, inpatients and outpatients income, testing charges, scanning charges, like that, certain incidental incomes. Only these incomes of hospitals were exempted. All the remaining incomes of hospital were taxable. In a simple thing we can denote like this. But there are certain special points and special cases to be discussed in case of hospitals. So let me begin them. Sir, I think I am very clear with this chart to you. So all the items I have presented, it's very clear. Now let me continue my discussion. Other special points. I will specify you now 5 special points. After learning all these 5 special points, this service will get completed. Okay. So first, special point number 1. Which type of let me specify you in a different way. What are various kinds of healthcare services? Actually, healthcare services means what we remember is hospital. All these hospitals, which type of treatment they are providing? Generally, the treatment provided by them is called as allopathy treatment. We usually call them as English medicines. It is called allopathy treatment. This allopathy treatment, whether is it taxable or exempted? Exempted. Sir, whether there are any other medicinal systems like allopathy? Yes, we have homeopathy, naturopathy, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani. Like this we have many of the healthcare services. Whether is all of these healthcare services were exempted or only allopathy treatment is exempted? Whether homeopathy, homeo hospitals also, they are going to charge consultation fee. Whether this is also exempted or taxable. This is the first special case we are going to deal. If we learn these 5 special points, this topic will get completed. Okay. Now let me clarify the first special point to you. There are certain recognized system of medicines. If you refer definition of the term healthcare services, one thing I would like to conclude to you is what entry number 74, sir, where these entries exist? In notification number 12/2017. In that notification, entry number 74, what they have specified here is healthcare services by a clinical establishment is exempted. Let me specify you meaning of the term clinical establishment, medical practitioner, paramedics. Just wait for some time span, I will explain. Before that, the exemption is given to healthcare services. What do you mean by the term healthcare services? Healthcare services includes diagnosis also. Diagnosis means blood test centers. So for blood test, they will collect certain additional charges. Now, for example, for this coronavirus medical test, they are going to charge around 2,500 rupees or 2,600 rupees for testing this COVID-19 virus. So this is the income of the private hospital. Whether on this income they are liable to collect GST, answer is no. Because sir, healthcare service is a primary requirement of many persons. Actually, there were many strikes in India as of now. But is there a situation of this many days of lockdown? Around 100 days our country is in lockdown. Still in some containment zones lockdown is being continued. From your childhood, did you observe any time that for 100 days the shops being closed? No. It may be 1 day or half day or 2 days maximum. So even earlier one of our CM, when Y.S. Rajshekhar Reddy has incurred his death also, only for 3 days they have given holidays. From 4th day it is quite natural, all the shops were being open. In that 3 days also hotels were open, hospitals were open, medical shops were open, some shops were being open. But during this lockdown situation, even hotels were also closed. Why? Because it is a disease. It affects the health of the people. Nothing is more important than health. Health is the basic requirement of any person. So in order to encourage such healthcare services, this exemption has been provided by way of notification. So what I am specifying is healthcare service is the primary requirement of every person. So when health is being damaged, no activity will get encouraged. So for that purpose only, healthcare services were being encouraged in India, and hospitals we are giving various exemptions. So healthcare service definition includes all types of treatment, illness, injury, deformity, abnormality or pregnancy. All the systems, all the types of treatment were being included here, but it should be a recognized system of medicines. Only recognized system of medicines healthcare services is being exempted. Sir, what do you mean by the term recognized system of medicines? That's what now we are going to have a discussion. Okay, what do you mean by the term recognized system of medicines? Here I have given you a chart regarding various recognized systems in India. So only these medicinal treatments, if they are going to collect charges, that charges were exempted from GST. All other systems it is liable to GST. Sir, what are those systems that were exempted from GST? Okay, now let us learn about that. Here first thing, allopathy. These are the English medicines. All the corporate hospitals provide this allopathy services only. Medicines were liable to GST, but such medicinal treatment is exempted from GST. So allopathy treatment is exempted. Like that we have homeopathy also. Both were the treatment is completely different from each other. I will give you a simple example. If you get cold, for example, if you go for a medical shop and consume a medicine, okay, it will get cured in maximum 1 to 2 days. But within 1 month, we again get the disease. We again get the cold again. Because what allopathy treatment is, they kill the germs inside the body. But the germs will be automatically developed again and causes damage to health immediately. For 1 month or 1.5 months, it will get compressed. After that, again the cold arises. But if you use homeopathy as a medicinal treatment, for example, homeopathy medicines if you consume, in day 1 if I consume homeopathy medicine, day 2 cold will get increased, not decreased. Here cold will increase when we use homeopathy. Day 3 it will much more increase, and from day 4 onwards it will decrease, and we will not get again cold for around 6 to 7 months. Because homeopathy medicine system, it takes the bacteria out of our body. It do not kill inside. It takes the bacteria out of our body due to any other mode. But whereas allopathy treatment kills the bacteria inside our body. Sir, whether allopathy treatment is correct, homeopathy treatment is correct, that's not the discussion we are having here. Just in order to remember such term, I am going to have a discussion to some extent. Some major diseases homeopathy cannot cure it. that only allopathy medicines can do. So which is the best method? We are not yet discussing that. Both were recognized system of medicines only. Both treatments were exempted from GST. Like that, we also have naturopathy also. Naturopathy means generally why our body gets a disease? Due to lack of vitamins. Due to lack of vitamins, due to lack of correct immunity system. Then what should we do to get correct immunity system? Rather than consuming medicines which is artificial, naturally you have to cure your disease through water, sprouts, seeds. Through such consumption, they are going to cure the disease, which is called as naturopathy treatment. They cures our disease through vegetables, fruits, consumption, through honey. They give gaps during the food consumption, and the which food kills such bacteria. Based on that, they will suggest the food we need to take, but it's a natural food. Here we are not going to consume any medicines. So this is called as naturopathy treatment. There are various nature cure hospitals also. For example, recently in AP there is a Manchan Satyanarayana Ashramam, where they give only naturopathy treatment. Whatever may be the disease, they give only naturopathy treatment. Sir, whether is this a recognized system? Yes, naturopathy is also one of the recognized system. There they collect much money from the patients also. It is exempted from GST. Okay. And next, Ayurveda. You might reason many people, many diseases which were not cured through other systems will get cured by Ayurveda. So where they produce medicines based on leaves, and some medicines were produced out of stems, which is called as Siddha, and some medicines were produced out of dry branches, which is called as Unani. Generally Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, commonly we use these three terms, but there is a slight difference in combination of medicines between them. Whatever may be, Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani, all the three were exempted from GST. And yoga is one of the recognized system of medicines in India. Many diseases which were not cured through other medicinal systems were cured through yoga. For example, knee pain is the major one. Many people, many old age people were being faced at the age of around 50 to 60. Knee pain. Generally in Telugu we call it as mokal nipple. For this purpose, they might use allopathy, they might use Ayurveda, whatever may be, but it's getting a temporary relief but not permanent relief. Where the correct medicinal system is in yoga. There are particular yogasanas which are to be done. Any yogasana you do, it concentrates on a particular part. Whatever may be the yogasana you do, except Savasana, all other yogasanas concentrates on a particular part. Whenever you get a pain in a particular part, the blood will be pumped to that part more, so that the defect in that part will get automatically cured. So we may get abdomen pain, we may get stomach pain, whatever may be. So they will suggest certain asanas to be done. If we are going to do it, blood pumping will go more to such part, so that the disease in such part will get automatically cured. Where yoga is also specified as one of the recognized system of medicine in India. So finally what I am going to specify is, so through yoga, if there are any yoga cure centers, through yoga if they cure any diseases, not yoga training institutes. Yoga training institutes is completely different. Okay. So through yoga if they cure certain diseases, if there is any such medicinal hospital, it is also exempted from GST. Yoga training center is completely different. Yoga training center will be covered in charitable activities. If it is registered as a charitable trust, then yoga training fee is exempted from GST. Or else up to 20 lakhs everyone can claim exemption. After 20 lakhs such charges will be liable to GST. Okay. So these are the different medicinal systems. Any other system also, not among this one, any other system, if it is recognized by government, we can consider. Sir, beyond this, are there any other medicinal systems? Yes. Recently in AP and Telangana, many people, two persons have become most famous. Veeramachineyan Ramakrishna and Kadarvali. So this person, so I think the name is Keto Diet, I think so, has introduced one diet called Keto Diet through eggs, through oil, there is some medicinal treatment if you get any diseases. So one diet he has introduced which don't cause any side effects, but your disease will get automatically cured. And this Kadarwali has introduced millets as one of the medicinal system. Millets, koralu, arikalu, like that there are certain terms which are being used which are called as millets. Through these millets we can cure various diseases is the system brought by this Kadarwali. So these two persons medicinal systems, even though they don't have any side effects, it was not yet recognized by the government. They are running a private hospitals or private ashramam, whatever may be. They put a name called Prakriti Ashramam. They are providing disease treatment there. But this treatment, whether this is recognized, no. So if they collect any treatment charges, whether is it liable to GST? Answer is yes, this is liable to GST. Only recognized system of medicines only exemption is given. That means unrecognized system of medicines, GST is liable to be paid. GST is liable to be paid. That's what I am going to have a discussion. Sir, I think I am very clear with this point. Once again I am specifying to you is that only treatment given by recognized system of medicines in India is only exempted. Sir, in exam how can we know whether this is recognized system or unrecognized system? They will clearly specify. If these names were specified, you have to identify that this is a recognized system. If any other new term has been specified in exam, they will clearly specify whether it is recognized or unrecognized. If they specify it as recognized system, you claim exemption. If they specify it as unrecognized, then you specify that it is liable to GST. Clear, sir? Right. So I have completed this point to you. Okay. Now let us continue. Healthcare services. Sir, I said how many special points we have? 5 special points to be discussed. Where I have completed one of the special point, that what are the various kinds of healthcare services that were exempted. There are 7 notified recognized system of medicines where you can claim exemption. Am I clear? Right. We have completed first point. Now coming to second special case, sir. Inpatients. Sale of medicines whether is it liable to GST? Simply I have specified that it's a good, so it is liable to GST. Sale of medicines, I am going to now to divide them into 2 categories. Sale of medicines to inpatients and to outpatients. For example, to one of the patient, they are doing bypass surgery, heart surgery they are doing. After completion of heart surgery, they have raised bill to him that number A. They have raised bill to him number A. Treatment, healthcare services treatment, we are charging 6 lakhs. Number B, room rent. You are in hospital for 12 days. Per day we collect 5,000 rupees rent. So you are liable to pay 60,000 rupees rent. Number C, medicines. So for your treatment we have incurred various medicinal cost also, which has cost around 2 lakhs. Okay. So total 8,60,000 is your bill. Now plus GST, whether GST is to be levied on the 6 lakhs, we are automatically aware that this is exempted from GST. Now whether GST is liable to be paid on room rent is the next question. Sir, here we need to use the concept of composite and mixed supply. If you remember our supply chapter, supply definition, whenever a patient is being admitted in the hospital, it is a common thing that we charge him rent. So whether this is a composite supply or mixed supply, composite supply. Composite supply we have to classify it as a principal supply. Here what is the principal supply? Treatment is the principal supply. Why we are going to the hospital? Whether treatment is adequate or hospital room is very neat. Since the treatment is correct, we are entering to the hospital. So treatment is the principal supply. Since treatment is exempted, this room rent is also exempted. Same thing in case of medicines also. The medicines which were being sold to inpatients, is also exempted from GST. So once again I am specifying to you that medicinal systems which were exempted from GST, all the charges collected from inpatients, it may be food fee, room rent, medicines fee, healthcare services fee. So all the charges collected from inpatients is exempted from GST. Fully it is exempted. Treatment services, it is considered as healthcare, and everything is exempted. And one thing to be noted, since this medicinal sale is exempted, and upon purchase of these medicines, ITC should not be claimed by the hospital, because inpatient sale is exempted from GST. So how can you claim ITC? Why we are giving ITC? Since output is taxable, we are giving ITC. Here inpatient sale of medicines is exempted, so we should not claim ITC on such inpatient's purchase of medicines. Even though you have claimed, later we will learn rule number 42 and 43, where proportionate reversal should be made. Okay, so we have completed this point of inpatients. Okay, next coming to the points of outpatients. Whether sale of medicines to outpatients is liable to GST. Tell me. Yes, there is no doubt in it. Sale of medicines to outpatients is liable to GST. So I have cleared you two special cases. Number one, what are the various medicinal systems that were exempted? Number two, sale of medicines as a bundled service. That means which is treated as a composite supply. I have completed the second part also. Now I am entering into part number 3, third special case. So total how many special cases I have specified? 5 special cases. Now I am entering for third special case. Sir, medical treatment, that means healthcare services, are not only required for humans, they are also required for animals also. They are also required for animals and birds also. Generally for humans, if they give treatment, we call them as doctor. But for animals, if they give treatment, such doctor is called as not animal doctor. So since he is giving treatment to animals, whether such doctor is called animal doctor? No. He is called veterinary doctor. So veterinary clinic services. Veterinary clinic services were also exempted from GST. So medical treatment is not only required for humans, it is also required for animals also. So pet care centers, pet hospitals, so pet dog, they have taken for treatment around 2 to 3 lakhs has been incurred. Whether is this exempted from GST? Yes. Okay, let me show you that point. If you refer this entry number 46, services by veterinary clinic in relation to healthcare of animals and birds is also exempted from GST. Sir, am I clear? Right. Next thing. So total 5 points I have specified. Now I am in point number 4. Point number 4, what I am going to specify here is exceptions to healthcare services. There are 2 healthcare services. Number A, cosmetic or plastic surgeries. Number B, hair transplantation. These 2 are also medical services only, But cosmetic or plastic surgery and hair transplantation, this is not the basic requirement of every human. This is a luxury medical treatment. Let me take a simple example. What do you mean by the term hair transplantation? If a person is going to lose his hair, generally we call it as a bald head. Such persons are going to insert artificial hair on their bald head. This is called as hair transplantation. Sir, what you are saying, nothing but wig? No, wig is completely different. Wig, if hair comes, it is going to fly. But this hair transplantation is not like that. They are going to insert the hair into our bald head. It's a medical treatment. Sir, whether such hair grows? No, such hair do not grow. We need not go for barber shop also. But for every month we have to consult doctor for servicing. We have to get such hair servicing by the doctor. So this is hair transplantation. Sir, whether a human can't live without hair? He can live. But for getting some style, they are going for hair transplantation. It takes a lot of money. The only people who have money will take such hair transplantation. That means it's a luxury service. This luxury services we are not going to encourage. Even though it is one of the healthcare services, this hair transplantation is taxable under GST. The only two healthcare services which were taxable is hair transplantation and plastic surgery also. Many of the cinema heroes were undergone under plastic surgery. Almost all the heroes were undergone, heroes and heroines. Many people were undergone plastic surgery. That means they remove the skin on their face and they will insert the skin which is in other part of the body in that place. They will remove the skin on the face and other part of the body they will pull out the skin and place here. Sir, what about such other part? It slowly get cured. And in their required shape, they are going to change their face. This is plastic surgery. Many plastic surgeries were successful and some for failure also, whatever may be. What I am going to specify to you is, this plastic surgery is not the basic requirement, just for luxury, just for stylishness. Many of the heroes and heroines were undergone this plastic surgery, and this plastic surgery services were also taxable. So plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery, hair transplantation. Sir, if there is a skin disease and they are going to make plastic surgery, it's a different thing. If these two activities were under medical treatment, were necessary for medical treatment, then they were exempted. Let me give you a perfect example. Sir, I think many of the people have watched one of the Telugu movie, Yavadu. One of the Telugu movie. In this movie, Ram Charan is the hero. But initially, if you have remembered such movie, who is going to come initially? Initially, Allu Arjun comes as the hero. And in a bus accident, his face get completely damaged. And his facial tissues were exposed to air. Immediately what they have done? Dr. Jayasudha have made treatment and have inserted the skin of Ram Charan on the face of Allu Arjun. Now who is the hero? Now Ram Charan is the hero. Revenge number 1, revenge number 2. So first half, second half, it's a complete story. Now here what I required here is, Allu Arjun has gone under plastic surgery which is replaced by Ram Charan's face. Whether is it required? Is it necessary in that case? Yes. It is a part of the medical treatment. If such a surgery is not being made, such facial tissues if exposed to hair ultimately affects the heart. That's what the thing which is specified in that movie. So they have made certain medical treatment and cured the disease. So what I am specifying to you is, this treatment were taxable, but if it is part of the medical treatment, sir, in exam how can we know it is the part? They will specify in the question. Let us see one question so that you will get clarity. Then only it is exempted. Am I clear? So I have explained the definition of the term healthcare services. Okay, there are certain exceptions. This is special case number 4. Sir, what is special case number 5? Yeah, 5 special cases I have specified. After this 5th case, we will go para to para. Okay. So 5th special case is very simple. Sir, in case of hospitals, there will be certain blood banks also. Certain blood banks provide services. If we need blood from the blood bank, we should either donate blood of other group. For example, if we need O positive urgently, but we have B positive, you can give B positive blood and take O positive blood, or you need to pay cash. Such blood bank services were exempted from GST. Blood bank services were also exempted from GST. And number B, biomedical waste treatment facilities. So generally in our house or office, if we have waste in dustbin, what we are going to do? Every day morning municipality person comes and we are going to deposit our waste into his rickshaw. But hospitals do not do such thing, because in hospital, while doing operations, if there is any waste, it is called medi waste. There will be syringes, injections, etc. That they should not deposit in a VMC rickshaw. What they will do? There is a separate waste treatment facility. They comes and collects the waste in a van, and they will kill the bacteria in such waste. They will burn it. That ash they will deposit in dumping yard. Directly such waste should not be deposited in dumping yard. They will kill the bacteria, they will heat it, they will burn it. Such burning ash will be deposited in dumping yard. This is the process which is being done. These services were also exempted. They provide services to hospitals which were exempted from GST. Blood bank services and waste treatment facilities are also exempted from GST. Sir, am I clear? Like this I have specified you 5 services of hospitals which were exempted from GST. Let me show you it once again. Now I will go para to para, sir, so that you will get much more clarity. I can also extend this also. Point number 6. Ambulance services. For ambulance, they may charge separate charges. Whether such ambulance services were taxable? Answer is no. Ambulance services were also exempted from GST. Sir, ambulance services were also exempted from GST. Okay. Healthcare services. If you observe this entry number 74, all the healthcare services by a clinical establishment, authorized medical practitioner or paramedics, not only corporate hospitals, even a first aid center also, they collect charges, it is exempted from GST. Even first aid centers also they can claim exemption. A clinical establishment, authorized medical practitioner, paramedics, everyone can claim this exemption. Next, services provided by transportation of patient in an ambulance. Transportation of patient in an ambulance. That means ambulance services were also exempted from GST. Now I have specified it to you. Even healthcare services definition also included transportation of patients also. Okay, transportation of patients also exempted. But healthcare service definition do not include transplantation, that hair transplantation and cosmetic or plastic surgery. That means hair transplantation and cosmetic and plastic surgery is liable to GST. It is liable to GST. But there is an exception. If this plastic surgery and hair transplantation is done to reconstruct the anatomy or body affected due to congenital abnormalities, that means as part of medical system, if they are going to do this cosmetic surgery or plastic surgery or hair transplantation, then it will be exempted. Or else these are luxurious services, it will be taxable. So it is apparent, that means clear from the record, that only the recognized system of medicines in India are exempted. The following are the medicine systems. These are what I have explained to you. Next thing, Renting of rooms, whether is it taxable? No, it is also exempted, which was clarified by way of a circular, because it's the incidental activity. Such incidental activity is called as a composite supply, so it was exempted from GST. So renting of rooms is exempted from GST. And next one, food supplied to patients. Sir, what the thing that was specified here? Food supplied to patients. Sir, if patients is supplied any food, it is also exempted from GST, which is part of their nutrition, which is part of their medical treatment. Okay, so food supplied to patients is only exempted. Along with patient, if there is any care person like relatives, for them, if the hospital supplies food, it is taxable. Only food supplied to patients is only exempted. Am I clear? Right. The food supplied to inpatients as advised by the nutritionist is a composite supply and not taxable. Not taxable. Okay. Other supplies of food, attendants who are not admitted, visitors food, it is taxable. Okay. Next, other income of the hospitals, like letting out to various shops, auditoriums. Here hospital is going to get rent, advertisement charges. These are the other incomes of the hospital. These other incomes were chargeable to GST. Next, veterinary clinic services I have already explained. Next, blood bank services were exempted from GST. And this entry number 75, waste treatment facilities. There are certain institutions, certain bodies which come and collect the waste from the hospital, and they will heat it, convert into ash, and they deposit in dumping yard. For providing these services, they collect certain charges from the hospital, and these charges were also exempted from GST. That's what which has been specified here. Okay, and here entry number 74A, rehabilitation professionals, the people who were adopted to alcohol, who were habituated to alcohol, if they stop immediately, their health will get affected. So they will have mental pressure to consume it again. So for that purpose, there will be certain rehabilitation centers. They provide motivation whether to drink or not to drink. Not to drink. There will be rehabilitation professionals. Even psychiatrist we take as example. Psychiatrist is one of the example for rehabilitation professionals. So anyone who wants to commit suicide, in order to change their idea, they approach rehabilitation professionals. They motivate the people and convert their ideas into useful one. So such rehabilitation professionals charge around 2000 per hour or 1500 per hour, like that they are going to charge, and such charges were also exempted from GST. So services by rehabilitation professionals is also exempted from GST. Okay. So that's it. Here we have completed the medical services which were exempted from GST. The medical services which were exempted from GST, beginning from definition of the term healthcare services, 6 special cases, and 5 incomes I have completely discussed here, sir. 5 incomes initially I have listed out here to you, and later I have specified 6 special cases, whether they are taxable or exempted. So from the past 40 minutes, we have completely discussed the healthcare services which were exempted from GST. Here we have a problem, question number 9. Let us discuss such question so that we will get much more clarity in the aspect. Once go through this question once. Let me explain to you. Well-being Nursing Home has received the following amounts in the month of November in lieu of various services rendered by it in the same month. You are required to determine its GST liability for the month of November. Ready? Point number 1. palliative care for terminally ill patients. What do you mean by the term palliative care? We don't know, because if they provide the recognized system of medicines list, based on that we can answer, but they have not specified whether this is a recognized system or unrecognized system. But in bracket, if you observe, it is to improve the quality of life of patients who have serious or life threatening disease, but the goal is not to cure the disease. Here, how much income they have received? 30 lakhs. Whether such 30 lakhs is taxable or exempted is the first question. So now go through this working note number 1A. It is immaterial whether it is provided establishment or home. Palliative care is for terminally ill patients only. So treating it as a recognized system of medicine, they are going to claim exemption. Assuming this as a recognized system, they are claiming exemption. Okay. Next thing, blood bank services exempted. Hair transplantation services taxable. Hair transplantation services were taxable. Ambulance services exempted. Naturopathy exempted. Plastic surgery generally taxable, but it is to restore an anatomy of a child affected due to an accident, so it is exempted. Okay. Next, pranic healing, they have clearly specified that this is not a recognized system of medicine, so it is taxable. Mortuary services, not here. We have discussed this in negative list. If you remember our supply definition chapter, there I have specified this in negative list that mortuary services were not liable to GST. Okay. So mortuary services were covered in negative list. We have already discussed that one. Let me show you it once in supply definition, second chapter. Yeah, this is the negative list, page number 2.5. Here we have specified funeral, burial, crematorium, mortuary exempted. Sorry, negative list. So not liable to pay GST. Negative list means it is not a supply at all. Exempted supply means it is a supply, but GST need not be paid. Ultimately no GST, but there is a difference between negative list and exemption. Exemption might be withdrawn immediately, but negative list cannot be changed. Exemption, if withdrawn, it is taxable, but negative list cannot be changed directly. Exemption is by way of notification, whereas negative list is part of the act. Notification, without the approval of the Houses of Parliament, they can withdraw, but act, in order to get changed, it requires the approval of the Parliament. Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha approval is required. That is the change between negative list and exempted supplies. Okay. So by this we have completed illustration number 9, and we have completed healthcare services under GST.